Oh yeah, it's spring break, and welcome back to You've Already Peaked Gaming Podcast, baby. Oh yeah, featuring your host Locarthemanbeast. Oh, also featuring me, the DjLobsterDust. Say it for me, Daddy.
Lobster.
Oh yeah.
What is up?
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy late fucking Friday for us, man.
Late.
Late. Yeah, my bad, man. My bad. My bad is saying my bad, but I should have. I was like, I'm leaving Davis at like 10. Went out to dinner with like friends and stuff after work. So it was like, just, playing catch up. Haven't seen a bunch of people in a while, trying to have a good night. Got on the freeway. I knew it. The minute I saw red lights, I was like, I'm such a fucking idiot. It's like,
why at 10?
Oh, bro. I'll tell you,
it makes sense like when it's rush hour, right?
Right. Totally understand.
Why at 10?
Well, I think a lot of it is what I wasn't thinking is it's been hot out. So a lot of the construction they're doing for the freeway is going to start later in the evening. So that way it's cooler. Okay. So that's fine. That's fine. Dead stopped on the causeway. I'm like, what the fuck? Dead stopped. At the end of the fucking causeway coming from Davis, they had the right lane shut down. It was shut down for like 400 feet before like the exit that takes you off to like 80 or whatever, right? I'm like, okay, nothing. There's one dude out there with a drill, just drilling the ground.
6 guys watching him.
That was exactly right. One fucking halogen just blasting down on the dude. 6 dudes watching. Dead stop fucking traffic. Traffic finishes up. I'm like, cool. Opens up. I'm like, boogieing. Let's go. I think this is something we need to start like opening our eyes and kind of looking around in the world. We've gotten to the point of dystopian futures of like 80s classics where I'm thinking like Blade Runner, where like, he's like going through the streets of, and it's just there's fire barrels and crazy shit. Like, so right past Harbor Boulevard, there's like an overpass that goes over it. It's like the crossover back over to 5 or whatever. And like, then it goes out to the 5. The hillside there was just on fire. And so it's just billowing smoke like over the freeway because it's like an overpass thing. So the smoke is going up, hitting the overpass and then passing out over onto the freeway. And no fire trucks, nothing. And it looks like it's been burning for a minute. You know what I mean? It's not like it was like, oh, it just started. Someone needs
time of the year, baby.
Exactly. Everything's dry. Someone flicked a cigarette butt at the end of the night, whatever. Fine. But it's been burning. Nothing. So that slowed everybody down. Finally get to down.
Because they're looking, not because it's involving anybody. They're just. Oh.
It's exactly right. People are doing this and it's late at night and then they're slamming on the brakes because they're getting too close. To get to downtown area, there's one cop that's off to the right who's like, they have cones up. So there's one cop there to make sure if anything happens that they can deal with it, right? That's the whole thing. But because that one cop is there, the far left lanes are now driving 20 miles under the speed limit. And then get all the way back right before 65th Avenue. They shut one left lane down, right? It goes right lane shut down, left lane shut down.
On 50?
On 50. Yeah. So it's like a right lane. It's chaos. It doesn't make any sense. Like, pick one side of the fucking freeway and just shut the whole motherfucker down. And then do all the work on one side. And then once all that's done, shut the other side of the freeway down, open all that whole bitch up, and just let everybody run. Oh.
Yeah.
So people are doing this, right? They're doing this, and then doing this, and then doing this, and then doing this.
You know what's the worst? Every time I leave your house, why are there 2 separate, like, if you're on path A, go to this, like where it just splits? I never know what to do. And I'm pretty sure I've taken each one a different route. There's no difference. It's just like.
They've actually updated it now. So the left-hand lane used to go over into the other side of the freeway because they were doing so much construction on this one side. Yeah. And so that other side was supposed to be, it's like, hey, we understand we're doing construction, so this is the way we keep multiple bits of traffic. Now, and this is the point that just blows my goddamn mind. That section of the freeway that you go over to the other side of the freeway is not even 200 feet's worth of you go over to one side and then you cut right back.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. There's no and if there is a reason for it, it's a dumb reason. It's a dumb reason. Like I do a lot of stuff where we have to have, like, my job requires me to do the basics first. You have to make sure you have a foundation down before you put walls up, right? If you stick a bunch of 2x4s and they're just kind of like pressed in and then you put sheetrock up, the house is coming down.
In one hand, you have somebody that pays the state of California for their contractor's license. In the other hand, you have the state of California paying its employees. Which one do you think is going to make the most sense?
Well, the problem I think I have, right,
the one that pays California money is held to a higher standard.
Except for the state of California vendored or lowest bidded out the project to all the contractors. It's not the state of California. It's not Caltrans or anybody doing the work. It's just Joe Blow and his fucking 500 guys. Oh my God. It doesn't make any sense. So what?
Somebody's up there just with a big fucking rubber stamp. They're like, make things stricter. Yeah. Make this. Charge them more. And they're like, okay, so we got a project for you. We're redoing the freeway. What do you want to do? Lowest possible fucking bidder.
It's a scene from what is it, Armageddon or whatever, with Steve Buscemi sitting in the thing and he's like, hey, how does it make you feel that we're on like 800 tons of like steel and like, 500 gallons of like nuclear fuel and it's all been like contracted and put together by the lowest bidder, Yeah. God, man, it's just, it doesn't make sense, and it's chaos because it's chaos all throughout the day, and in the time when you think it would be the best, it's just as bad, if not worse. Especially because it's nighttime. People can't see at night. They're coming home from shit. You know what I mean? It's just, plus all of a sudden you turn a corner. There's a lot of blind corners on 50 getting through Sacramento. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden you turn a blind corner and you just got a fucking halogen bulb like blasting in the fast lane. It's like, what the shit,
You gotta love it, man.
It's wild. And then, like I said, like all week this week, it's been really weird. I know it's not conspiracy territory yet. And I know it's just got to be. I think it's got to be relatively just the idea behind heat and everything. I have seen so many cars on fire. Do you know what I mean? Like you're just driving through Sac and you could just see black smoke just billowing from like an underpass, and like it's like, oh my God.
Wrap the tin foil. They're getting ready for another summer of riots. Hopefully. They're just prepping you.
You know what? I hope if
it's an election year.
It is an election. See, that's a big one. I just burn Capitol down. Just take everything to the courthouses and the Capitol buildings. Just burn all that shit down. Just leave my house alone and leave the fucking freeways alone. Leave the freeways alone. I drive too much. I mean, we were having this conversation, a couple of weeks ago. I can easily, for my job, without trying, put in close to 150 to 200 miles a day and never leave Sacramento. Just by going to different properties and doing my job. An 8-hour day, I can put in close to 200 miles. And I never leave the fucking city.
And the kicker to that is, well, Will just moved to Texas, but I've had other people that go to Texas and they're like, it's a 45-minute drive to like wherever I'm going. But when I say 45 minutes, it's not like California 45. It's like I drove
a 45 minutes.
Like 60 miles. And I got there in 45 minutes. California, you can drive for 45 minutes, and sometimes you're not even making fucking 20 miles.
From Davis to my house is 21 miles. It took me an hour.
Exactly.
It took me an hour.
It's fucking outrageous. It's so dumb.
Texas is wild, too, because from end to end, it's like driving California. It's like you take 10, 11 hours to go from one end to the other, and you never leave the state. There are countries in the UK that after 3 hours you have crossed borders at least twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When we were in Nashville for Dave's bachelor party, they were like, oh, we did like the bachelor party, like we had like the draft on top of this like rooftop bar and watch like the first like NFL game, and then the very next day there was another NFL game. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna drive up to Cincinnati. And I was like, what in the fuck are you talking about? They're like, it's 3.5 hours. Like, what do you? And I was like, what?
Yeah,
Cincinnati is 3.5 hours. You're gonna go to a football game? They're yeah, like if traffic's bad, like 4. Like what?
Yeah.
It's so weird. East Coast is so like compartmentalized, and you get out fucking to the the Louisiana Purchase, and all of a sudden everything's spaced the fuck out.
Well, I was watching a comedian. He was talking about it. It's like if you look at the map of the United States, it looks like I know we colonized from the East Coast, but it looks like someone handed them a map of the the North America and was like, all right, break this up into 50 states. And some guy's like, cool, no problem. I got plenty of room. And then it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And the worst part about it is, look, okay, if I have to objectively look at it, like, it's stupid the way they have everything set up in California, especially right here in Sacramento with all the traffic. It's the people. It's the people. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, like, I'm never stressed in the construction zone. I'm never looking at and they don't really give you a good indicator like, hey, by the way, this lane is fucking closed, until all of a sudden the lane is closed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like right after 65th, they shut it down. The left lane got shut down. It was all of a sudden we were doing 80 miles an hour, and then there was cones in front of you, and you had to like slam on your brakes to fucking jump over to the next lanes. Like, and as stressful as that is, not that bad. I can look ahead to be like, oh shit, cones, I probably need to get over. But everybody else,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Oh. I don't rage at a lot of things. I mean, I rage against the machine. Traffic does something to me as a human being. We could be in an altercation, and I'm a cool little cucumber. You know what I mean? We've been in situations where I've just been like, all right, man, let's handle it. Traffic? I'm glad I don't own a gun, because I would just start shooting people.
Got you.
I'll go to jail. 3 square meals a day.
Yeah.
I don't got to work no more.
I'm going to pay taxes.
Fuck no.
Your taxes paying me.
Good behavior. I get to use the library and just read all day long. I'm cool.
The day at work.
Uh-huh.
Oh, what were we talking? We scanned this prisoner.
Uh-huh.
And, well, okay. Recently ex-prisoner.
Okay.
And I was like, I can't figure out why we're doing a pelvis on you, man. Like everything that it says, like I'm reading, it says like X, Y, and Z. And like, don't get me wrong, I'll do it. I don't care. But like, I just don't understand why we're doing this. But I want to let you know, like, we are doing this. He's like, okay. So we scan him, and he comes out, and then he's like, you know what? I was thinking about it, and I think I know why we're doing my pelvis. And I was like, all right, tell me. He's like, so when I was in prison, you know, you get bored and you do things. You do things for pleasure. I was like, okay. And he's all, so we used to take these, we took like beads and stuff, and we just put them in our dicks. I was like, excuse me? He's all, yeah. So like we called it insertions. You take like a glass bead, like you get a homie that's smuggling a glass bead, and you put it in your dick. And I was like, in the hole? And he's like, yeah, in the hole. And I was like, okay, following. He's all, and then you take like a stick or like a big pen, and you push it down deep. So when you jerked off, it gave you an extra thing. And the entire time, my coworker is just like staring at the ceiling, and I'm like, and he's all. So one time, I was getting real crazy. I had a whole bunch of shit up there, and I was just going crazy. And like, I felt one of them break, and then like I had like glass in me. And like, so it just like spread around, and then like it kind of like came out. So maybe that's why we were looking at my pelvis, and I was like, Maybe. You have a great day. Like, I'm already done with everything. Like, you could have left 10 minutes ago before you started this story.
Get that shit to yourself, man.
Anyway, so like the rest of the day, I was like, man, you ever get the urge to just shove a bunch of glass beads up your dick hole? And Jim's like, no, but man, I've heard some crazy stories in prison. And just from that, I was like, yeah, I heard a crazy story. Prison isn't all that bad, though. I heard this guy, he was somewhat of a tax whiz, goes to prison, he starts helping the guards with all their taxes, he gets a little leniency. Use that leniency to build a beautiful library. And Jim doesn't even know where I'm going with this. He's like, like a nice library. It's like all of the books you can read. Some of them used it to learn law.
Old guy with a crow.
Like, I didn't want to be too obvious, so I kept going, and I was like, "See, the thing is, though, he built this library. He made it a beautiful place, and then I can't remember the name of the woman, but he had a poster on his wall. Went missing. They found a tunnel behind this thing. I went through the entire fucking backstory of Shawshank. He still had no clue what I was talking about. Such a wasted joke.
God, seriously. The delivery too. Lean up, like drop. I mean, I've had enough of that where like someone's telling you something and you're like invested in it because you're just like, I don't know where the fuck you're going with this, and then like the tail end, you're like, oh god damn it, you piece of shit.
Yeah, maybe he did get it. He's like, I just hate you.
Yeah. Or maybe he's never seen Shawshank, which is a wild.
How? Impossible.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. How?
I feel like even if you didn't watch TV, there's enough like you could be like pumping gas and the screen at your gas station's playing it somehow.
Yeah. I don't think, unless I've actually actively gone to watch Shawshank and it's ever been like on TV, you know, when we were kids and it just showed up on TV. I've never caught the beginning of Shawshank. Like I've always just like
you don't need to.
Yeah, caught up in the middle of it. Like I think
you could even skip the part where he's being sentenced as long as you get the like if you start the movie
once he meets Red.
The delousing when they're just throwing the powder at him and he's naked, like that's where the movie starts for me. I've seen it 1,000 times.
Oh, 100%.
Easily.
It's such a good movie.
The movie starts there.
Do you love your wife? this asshole's about to have an accident. Oh, that's such a good movie. It's such a good movie.
I know. Even the 100,000 times you've probably seen it. It's still great.
Red, do you remember that place I told you? Say Watanea.
Man. Okay. This isn't the Shawshank episode. But do you remember the girl that had the pet duck?
Yes. How could I forget? How could I forget?
Yeah. So
Batman?
She was going through time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she kept blowing up my phone. I ended up having to block her from a bunch of stuff. And then I found out from her family that she was going to a rehab in San Francisco.
Okay.
And I was like, good for her. She needs help. Not a week later, I get a postcard that was sent to FLB.
Okay.
That said, do you remember the time? It was literally like that, like what he said to Red, or what Red said to him on a postcard, but I wasn't connecting the dots. And I just get this postcard, and it was from like San Francisco Bay. I was like, oh no, like it was just like I blocked out everything, and then I get this postcard. So I'm freaking out. I still have the postcard somewhere. It was Fuji, the bouncer, and we were just talking about Shawshank, and he just happened to be in San Francisco, but for some reason, my mind connected the wrong dots. I was like, oh god, she's getting weird. She's talking cryptic. That movie's just too good. It just gives too much.
It's so good. It's so good. Nobody ever looks at a man's shoes. God, man. God. Shawshank was fire.
I'm telling you. Ooh. So I know we're planning on shooting a music video, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What if we did a rough 1-for-1 shot of Shawshank just with all of our friends?
I'm not against it. Oh. Who would play who?
Clorf is obviously in blackface playing Morgan Freeman.
Or he's the warden.
Still in blackface, though. Sean's got to be Dufresne, right?
Gotta be.
Yeah. His voice just screams Dufresne.
Yeah. Or Brooke.
You have to be the main guard who always like beats the shit out of him.
Yeah.
But instead of like a nightstick, you just have like the coat rack from your drama class.
Yeah.
It's a nice callback. Ooh. I want to be the wife.
Okay.
That dies.
Okay.
But I want there to be a lot more flashbacks. It's not gonna be a 1-for-1 anymore.
Okay.
But a lot more flashbacks like Sean wakes up sweating in the night of just strangling me to death. And me in like a blonde wig.
Let's do a prequel.
Ooh,
A Shawshank prequel.
Okay.
We'll leave
no
red
Warden anymore. Cliff is red.
Yeah.
So he's still in blackface. But it's him just like on a riverboat gambling trip smacking whores. Just geesh.
What did Red go to jail for? Stealing something? God, I think it was theft or some bullshit. Like, oh no, he killed a man, right? He killed a man in theft. He was doing.
So it's gonna be Clorf stealing underwear from a middle school's locker room, and he killed the gym teacher, who's Aaron.
Oh,
I like the prequel.
I like the prequel idea. The prequel idea. Yeah,
something.
There you go. This is how we do it. We only and here's the thing: we could get around the right situation by not having the same names, like just a little bit off.
I don't think we need to. I think like Shawshank. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's like a Steamboat Willie. You know, if it's been around for a certain amount of time. See, the difference is though, Shawshank is a perpetual motion machine. So like Steamboat Willie is just like when it comes up, it adds time.
Sure.
This is just an ever churning, ever building
Steamboat,
like a snowball.
Sure. Steamboat Willie is also 1920, and Shawshank is 1990 for the movie. And I think it was written. Stephen King wrote it. Was it Stephen King that wrote Shawshank?
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but I need you to hear me out.
Okay.
If we're doing the how many times it's been played snowball.
Oh, okay.
Steamboat Willie from 1920. Rolling down a hill.
Okay.
How many times it's been played? Each time it's been played, it gathers more mass,
Oh,
right?
Okay.
So when it reaches that's when it's now public domain. Shawshank was released 1990,
but it's
licensed to AMC and every hotel chain in the country. By 1992, it had already reached its critical mass.
Okay.
It burst its public domain. We're in the clear. We can do whatever we want.
Terminal velocity by the summer after it came out. Okay, all right.
Too good. Flame burn too bright.
Oh man, I keep thinking. Now they're on this kick. I'm thinking like what we could prequel, things. Like what would you if you had to prequel something, and you could fuck it up, obviously. Like look at Star Wars, but like if you had to prequel, something, what would you want to prequel, and like actually have it be
good?
There accepted, something that people
accepted.
Well, like think of like Red Moon. Red Moon's bad, but people are watching it. Lots of people are watching that fucking movie.
Rebel Moon.
That's it. Rebel Moon.
Oh god, that's so fucking bad, dude.
It was the first one was bad. The second one was terrible. People are
Snyder alone got me to watch. No. Okay.
People are watching a lot of it.
Snyder alone got me to watch the first Rebel Moon. I know it's just like Star Wars has always been big. Dune's making its comeback. It's in its fucking swan song. Let me jump in on this. Like he's trying to ride that wave. This Snyder alone is like Snyder doesn't make terrible films. I'll watch it. Part 1, pretty bad.
It was pretty bad.
Part 2, I still have not finished.
I have not attempted.
And you can say people watch. I've easily contributed to 25 watches, and I haven't finished the film. I'm just like literally I'll start it. As soon as I'm done, I fucking can't. I'm making it like 20 minutes at a time. And at a certain point, like I can't break the wall. You know, like when you watch like the marathon runners and they hit the wall and their legs give out.
Yeah.
My legs give out consistently at like I could literally turn on my TV, go to that, and that's where I'm stuck at. And I can't get past that.
I mean,
it's right after they're like
true.
The 30 It feels like 30 minutes of gratuitous slow motion harvesting grain.
See that?
Like I said, I literally went to a YouTube video I was like, man, I bet you like the actual process of harvesting grape. I watched 2 hours of this guy like primitively harvesting real wheat and turning it into fucking bread.
Yeah.
Over fucking finishing the movie. I've deep cleaned the entire kitchen. The best thing that's ever happened to my relationship is that fucking movie. I'll start fucking cleaning.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the point of it. It's not designed to be like the greatest
psyop from your significant other.
Or maybe
there's a part 3. What's part 3 gonna be?
Well, see, that's the point I'm trying to think about when I because I watched the first one and I was like, this movie is awful, but it wasn't awful in a way that was like, it's hard to describe. It's like it was awful for me. I also don't like rom-coms. They're not for me. So who was that movie for? You know what I mean?
Snyder's wallet.
Fuck it. We're prequel Rebel Moon.
See, that's the other. Okay, the first thing that came to my mind is like, we couldn't possibly. There's some movies we could probably make like a funny fucking like prequel for.
Sure.
Rebel Moon, not a chance in hell. You know why? Because they had all of the budget, all of the costume design, all of the CGI, and it's still that shit. They had all of the actors, all of the writers. They had probably top 20 directors.
I think,
and it's still shit.
I think that movie also that's the exact point. They had everything. So they had too much of everything, and it just never, like some of the best, think about like movies like Reservoir Dogs or Evil Dead.
That's an anomaly.
Well, no, they're not anomalies. They're not all anomalies, but that's the thing. Reservoir Dogs is not an anomaly. There's nothing to that fucking movie.
Exactly. But it's basically all writing. Who was the biggest name in that at the time? Maybe Harvey Keitel?
Maybe, yeah, probably.
But it's like that can never be done again. It was a flash in the pan that's there. There can be like extreme low budget movies with not a lot where it's just like a psychological like what the fuck's going on.
Sure.
But that can never really truly be done like that again. It'd always be referenced as like this is like Reservoir Dogs.
I mean,
like,
you couldn't do the same type of idea, but I mean, I think Reservoir Dogs in itself is what we would consider a cult classic. There are a very select few bits of people that are diehard Reservoir Dog fans, where there are other people that have seen the movie and they're like, yeah, I get it. It was shitty. There's a bank heist gone wrong.
Oh, okay. Cult.
Yeah, right.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
He's a
cult classic.
100%.
Reservoir Dogs, often referenced in like film classes and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's just like what it accomplished.
Well, then I mean, that's a weird one too, because
because transvestites in Transylvania. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're gonna fucking leave that out of fucking film history, Brad?
No. I think Rocky Horror is as cult classic as you can potentially get. There's a group of people that are in love with Rocky Horror. That is like, those are the type of people that you like. I should probably not invite them over for dinner.
There's a group of people that are regularly. Hey, if you could just turn your camera a little bit to your right, my left. Isn't there a fucking poster of Rocky Horror? Yep, right there. Yep, exactly. Yeah. So there's a group of people like you're talking like you're not him.
Listen, I have a specific love for that movie that is my all-time favorite movie. There's a selection of movies in the world. We have a plethora, a non-stop catalog of movies that can exist within this world. Rocky Horror is still the top of my list and will always be the top of my list. It's not like it's the greatest movie. I'm not
even trying to fight you on this. I'm not.
It's a fun movie. Great songs. I love the songs. Like, it's a musical. It's weird. It's out there. It is very out there. It's the first time in my life as a straight man I was like, I'd fuck Tim Curry.
Obviously.
Tim Curry's not a good looking dude.
No.
But
goddamn. He is great.
He's a
great transsexual from Transylvania.
Oh my God. I was singing that song today.
I think Time Warp?
No, fucking Sweet Transvestite.
Oh. Time Warp.
Yeah, Time Warp is great.
Man, okay, so there's like a handful of songs that went today when like all of the when my phone doesn't stop rating and the orders don't stop coming in through my computer, and I keep every time I look at an order, I'm like, what in the fuck? Like nothing makes sense. Nothing. It's just like the shittiest day. I have probably 4 songs. One of them is Proud Mary by Tina Turner.
Okay.
And these songs just loop in my head, but it's not the full song. Proud Mary, for instance, it just goes do, 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 and I just see her in a sequin suit.
Yeah.
There's the Time Warp. Let's do the Time Warp, but it's just that. Let's do the Time Warp again. It just goes. It's one of those things where your anxiety just builds with the song.
Yep.
God, what's the other one? Bang on the. I sat here and I was like, I know there's a song. Bang on the drum all day or all night. It's just like fucking like organ music. Like I wanna bang on my drum all day. It's just like that where it's just like you're like I don't enjoy it, but it just fucking builds. But when I get the Time Warp isn't the worst one. Time Warp's like you can get through this day.
You can bop a little bit.
When I get to fucking Bang on the Drum or Proud Mary, holy shit, I'll punch someone. I'll fucking get fired from my job.
I used to, so in high school, I think it was my sophomore year through, I want to say it was through my senior year, or at least my junior year for sure. Probably part of I watched Rocky Horror Picture Show every day after I got home from school. Like I would just pop it on and I would just let it play in the background while I was doing something else. I would just have it going.
My first 10 times trying to watch Rocky Horror Picture, and this is probably why I could never get into it, is because we were watching the sunrise together.
Yeah.
And you're like, we should watch this. And just like, no.
And it was after you had already seen the live experience of it.
Fuck you.
Damn it, Janet, I love you.
But in the same breath, I love Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, okay. Another great experience on it. I think that's another good one that is a cult classic.
I think they're right there.
They're very close. Those are one in, feed me, Seymour.
Suddenly Seymour. Fucking Steve Martin.
God damn. But I mean, so like if you go back to looking at those cult classics, I mean, there's a selection of movies that I feel have really become the cult classic that never went anywhere else besides just like one movie. And I could probably
That's probably why they remain so good.
Exactly. And that's
Can you imagine if Fast and the Furious just stayed Fast and the Furious?
If it was the first Fast and Furious and that was it, that movie was so fucking good. It's like Mission Impossible. I know everybody's like, Mission Impossible 2 wasn't so bad. I really will tell you right now, there is nothing like Mission Impossible 1. I will die on this fucking hill. Mission Impossible.
Prepare to die. Mission Impossible 3.
No.
Soundtrack done by Limp Bizkit.
I don't give a shit.
Long hair Tom Cruise.
I don't give a shit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Over gratuitous, just fucking nose wheelie fights.
Yeah, that's
on Ducatis.
It was Fast and the Furious with spies.
Did John Woo direct that?
I see, he should have.
Because if not, why was there so many doves flying everywhere?
It was, I'm telling you, like the first Mission Impossible movie was a spy movie. And it was fucking sick. It was slow. It was methodical. The whole thing with them just like at the safe house and like looking at the whole thing and like Job and like, or Job and then reading through all the stuff. It was so fucking well thought out and so smart. Red light, green light. Then just fucking it was just perfect, man. It was perfect. Then, the whole thing at the end where like, he showed the camera and he was faking his own death and everything. Oh my God.
What was 2?
2 was the one where they were on the island. No, 3 was the one where they did the that was long hair and it was on the island or whatever, right?
Yeah. 3 was the
shit one.
The worst, but simultaneously the best one. 2.
No, 2 was he had long hair in 2.
2 was no.
Yeah, Mission Impossible 2, I think, is the one that you're thinking of.
That's a severe
No,
jump then.
you're right.
I thought,
no, 2
okay,
is the
there
one where he
has
had long hair and they did the motorcycle thing. Mission Impossible 3, he went back to having short hair. Mission Impossible 3 was the one where they did like the
did you look it up?
Yeah, the skyscraper point or whatever. He was on the skyscraper. He had like the rappel ropes on.
Wow. I thought, okay, because I was going to say 1 and then 2, 3 being the bad one, and then everything else was just like, what kind of crazy shit can we make? Not make, can Tom Cruise volunteer to do? Because that's really all it ends up being anymore. The storyline's pretty meh, and it's just like Tom Cruise is just like fighting his midlife crisis is just like, well, we haven't shoved me off a fucking cliff with a fucking dildo in my mouth yet, and they're like, fucking brilliant, Tom, let's do it. Do you want a stunt actor? Absolutely not.
Oh, Mission Impossible is a Wish James Bond. That's what it's become now. It's like the Kmart version Pierce Brosnan.
I think they're the same.
They're pretty close.
Not in the old days, but
no.
Did you watch the last James Bond?
Which one was that? Was that
No Time to Die? I just rewatched it while I was cleaning.
The last one with
it's the one where he's no longer 007 and the new 007 is a black girl.
I have not seen that one.
And everybody's like, what the fuck? Like, woke culture, blah, blah. And like, the whole movie's tainted. James Bond's no longer James Bond. He's like a overly emotional fucking, like, he's just everything that he never should have been.
Yeah.
And he ends up, spoiler, he ends up sacrificing himself and dying at the end.
I think that
to save all the ones that he loved.
I remember reading about it.
It was Daniel Craig's send-off.
Yeah.
You lost me 2 movies ago. Daniel Craig was a great James Bond. Casino Royale, all the way up to about Spectre.
Spectre was good. Quantum of Solace, I know a lot of people fucking did not like Quantum of Solace.
I think that's about where it drops off for me.
Quantum of Solace was what, the second one or the third one? Second one. What was the second
Fourth
one?
after Spectre.
No.
It might have been right before Spectre.
No, Spectre was the last one, right? Because the middle one was the one with the house, where they went back to his fucking house. The third one was the house.
So No Time to Die was the last one. The one before...
Hold on.
That was Spectre. The one before that was Skyfall, and that's the one with the house.
Skyfall.
They go back to the house.
That's right.
The one before Skyfall was Quantum of Solace.
So the second one, Quantum of
that.
I think because what was his name? Javier whatever was the bad guy from Quantum of Solace. Wasn't that right? I think that movie, like a lot of people didn't like it because it was like there's not a whole lot of action.
I love that one.
It was fucking brilliant. I just thought it was a really good, like, just I don't know, psychological fucked up type of movie in itself. It was a really good movie. I think Daniel Craig did a bang up job as Bond, especially coming off of like Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah,
which is like
Pierce is a hard one to follow.
It's not that it's a hard one to follow, but if you look at Daniel Craig's Bond versus like Pierce Brosnan, like even like when you go back, Roger Moore and Sean Connery and all these these other people that did the Bond or whatever, it was very 1970s Batman. Pow, kapang, you know what I mean?
No, exactly.
And so when you get to Bond with Daniel Craig, it was like, oh, this is just real. Yeah, it just hit. It's an action movie.
Yeah.
I just fucking love that.
And I think that's probably my biggest complaint about the last one, the No Time to Die, was that he had that departure from it. There's a lot more, and watching it back, like his little like mannerisms shit and the little one-liners that Bond's known for, they're not as
delivered like in a way that hit.
I guess clever. I don't know. Yeah, it just seems like he's like, and you're like, you get that like eye roll, like, oh god, this isn't your Bond, you know?
Yeah,
just me.
It's okay.
Bond prequel. No.
No. Bond side series, Amazon, follows Q. Just him building inventions and shit for Bond.
Who's gonna play Q? Cliff is obviously Bond in blackface.
Who's the dude that did Martian Man?
What?
You know the skinny dude from How High? The comedian? The guy that goes to
DJ
prison.
Qualls.
Huh?
DJ Qualls.
DJ Qualls.
What?
The guy.
Skinny man from Black Eye.
Okay, remember in How High? The guy that goes to prison? He kills a horse?
No.
In How High?
Oh. That's cute.
That's cute. I'm sorry about your words. You killed Buttercup. I'm sorry about Butternut. Buttercup, butter stuff.
Oh, half baked.
Half baked. Sorry, my bad. Not How High. Yeah, half baked.
Harley.
Yeah, Harley. Yeah, well, that's his name. You know,
I was so lost for a second.
Yeah, my bad.
But my brain kind of started blending those together too. I was like,
How High
there
is
was a horse that
How
died.
High is Redman and
Method Man.
Method Man. Yeah, that's right.
I was like, who? Yes. No. Yes.
Yeah.
Redman.
Yeah.
Is
Redman
Q.
is Q.
Yes.
Terrence Howard is Q. I got some shit for you, man.
Have you seen his videos yet?
I saw whatever the most recent one with Joe Rogan he was on, where they were like kind of making fun of him because he was like, "Yeah, I got to turn my phones off. They're trying to find like he's getting." Well, I mean, is he though? Look at Hollywood. Look at all the crazy shit in Hollywood. Look at all the fucking weird shit in the world. It doesn't seem so weird to be kind of a conspiracy nut anymore. And if that man, who's very intelligent, he is very, very intelligent.
Okay. Is he intelligent?
I mean, yeah, he like has very like he did like some physics thing or something.
Did he? Or are we taking it for face value? Because if anything, he is overly charismatic.
Ooh. No, because I've seen him
He's
like
a great actor.
Have you ever watched?
Is he just playing the role?
Have you ever watched him do lectures?
Yeah,
I feel like those lectures are pretty quick. There's not like a whole lot of improv you can pull up with that.
bruh. I swear to God. Conspiracy theory.
Okay,
He was supposed to be Black Iron Man.
he was.
He method acted so fucking deep, and that's why they had to take him off the movie. And he was like, I got this. And they're like, no, Don Cheadle, step in. He never stopped method acting. He thinks he's Tony Stark.
I mean, that's a reach, but I like it. I mean, the reason why is because he wanted more money than Robert Downey Jr. for playing the role.
That's what they want you to think.
That's a good point. It is Hollywood. They've been diddling kids for years, so we can't really trust them.
Or,
Mm-hmm.
second theory, he wrote a book that he's constantly notarizing and saying like, oh, go to this page. Is this just the biggest like fucking like rug pull where he's like, buy my book?
Ooh.
And he is so hard fucking into his, because he's a great actor.
Yeah?
You can't deny him that. He just
he never
selling
stopped
it? He's like, if I make it to Rogan, I sell at least 100 million.
I mean, maybe. That's not a bad idea.
Or worst case scenario, is he right?
He seemed way more paranoid. Like, it didn't feel like when I was watching that whole interview, I was like, oh, he seems like he hasn't been sleeping well. You know what I mean? One of those, like, I got to turn my phone off. Like, that didn't seem like acting. Like, there was a shift in the eye.
Coming from you, Mr. 3 hours of sleep a night. He admits to getting about 4 hours of sleep. Because Rogan's like, you look so good. What have you been doing? He's like, I've been rebuilding my cells from the inside. I take these, and he like gets like an eye dropper, and he like puts something. He's like, my wife turned me on to these, and he's like, so you haven't changed your diet at all? Okay, well, I only eat whole foods now. And he's like, have you been watching your calorie intake? Yes, I only have a certain amount of calories a day. But really, what it is these eye droppers, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, so you've changed your whole diet, lifestyle, everything else. But that's what's changed.
Nobody's actually injecting Ozempic anymore. They're just doing that.
Yeah, like a tincture.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's a tincture. I want one day a fly on the wall in the like a multi-fly universe where I could just be in the walls of just multiple different like celebrities.
Spider-Man prequel.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. The multiverse before the multiverse. of just
Uncle Ben plowing Aunt May.
my brother will never get this.
He just makes it like Borat. My brother never get this. With a Brooklyn accent.
Hey, I'm fucking it. But just like I just want to see all the rich people. I just want to see what happens actually behind closed doors. Not the fucking weird kitty diddling thing. Like that's its own Epstein Island joke. But like,
Orf.
yeah, I just want to see when someone comes to you and they're like, hey, by the way, take this crazy fucking thing and promote it. Like, how do you get to that point? Where do you get to in celebrity and stardom where like you are just injecting yourself with fucking diabetic medication to lose weight, and like you're seeing all the people that are using it and they look like fucking skeletons, bro.
Yeah.
You're looking at me like this can't be healthy. There's no way that this is healthy.
No, the fact that you can flip a coin and it's either no side effects or like life-threatening detrimental side effects, and there's like barely any in between.
But it's everywhere, and it's being so. I saw it. Was it Instagram or TikTok? Some fucking girl crying. I can't believe my doctor would do this to me. I asked for Ozempic. Da, 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 da. I want to be losing weight. Like she showed like the email back from her doctor was like, I do not think that this is something that I would even remotely recommend. Like you haven't tried any dieting. You haven't tried anything else. There's no way I'm putting out. She's like, but some celebrity that I follow said that this is great. Da, 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 da. This is bullshit. I hope he sees this video. Like this is a mental thing. And I'm watching this and I'm watching this going, is that person, that girl on TikTok, an actor? Because there's no fucking way the human race is coming to the point where that is okay.
Do you have Hulu?
Yeah.
Is your Hulu ad free?
Yeah.
Oh, mine isn't.
Okay.
See, I don't got that kind of money.
Oh.
I'm saving burritos here. But 9 out of 10 commercials on Hulu is a different kind of pharmaceutical product. Easy 9 out of 10.
Oh, that's gross.
Ozempic, WeJoy, fucking all these like anti-anxiety. It's all, I swear.
There's some, I think COVID failed. I think COVID was a government run conspiracy trying to kill off a majority of the population. They realized that most people will then learn to wash their hands.
Yeah. Let's get demonetized, baby.
That's what I think it was. I think more or less, like I'm not saying that the sickness wasn't real, but I'm definitely saying how it existed in the world wasn't real. I don't think they killed enough people off. So now it's just like send out whatever we can, kill them with fucking diabetic medication.
I don't think my mom asked me about Ozempic. I was like, no. And she's like, well, my friend, like she said, like she's been trying to like talk to her doctor to see if she can get on. I was like, well, tell your friend it's fucking poison. Yeah. And if your friend's stupid enough to fall for it, go.
It just doesn't make. Well, yeah. You know what the next step from here is? Stop all of that shit. You know what we really know loses weight? Drops
Exercise?
It like no radiation. Start taking the fucking cancer shit, dude. That stuff drops you like nothing, man. Your toenails pop off. You don't got to worry about painting them. You can put fake shit on. Like, seriously.
Voluntary chemo?
Absolutely. Your hair falls out. You can wear any type of wig you want. Your hair will always look fucking fantastic. Go for that. Stop worrying about all the rest of the stuff. Stop worrying about taking these stuff. Just start the fuck. And the thing is like when people are on
disclaimer, we are not doctors. This is not medical advice.
I'm serious, man. Like most people,
we are not serious.
They go the high end of radiation to kill the cancer. You don't got cancer. You don't need the high end stuff. They're dropping at a 20. Take a 5.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Here you go. Just go to your nearest hospital. See if they have a volunteer program. Volunteer to take the old people to their x-rays and CTs. Exactly. Hold their hands without the lead vest while they do it.
There you go.
We are not doctors. This is not medical advice.
I don't know, man.
Asterisks are everywhere.
Or maybe it is. Who knows? If people are getting their medical advice from advertisements and TikToks, who's to say we can't?
Terrence Howard can play a fucking grade school recorder at your fucking pancreas and cure cancer.
Yeah.
As long as it's in the right tone of E sharp. Imagine you're like about to die. I'll try anything to just make it work. And there's just a bunch of fucking children trying to play Silent Night around you. I'd rather die.
I saw a cartoon or something. It was like a meme, like it was whatever. It was like one of those the guys like, what the fuck? Like pictures. And it's like when you fall and hit your head and they tell you nothing to worry about, but now the Avengers are showing up to your bedroom.
Oh my God.
That's wild, dude. And that's what I'm saying. I think we've entered that age of like 80s, like future dystopian world that was like the world.
Did you know 1984 is banned in schools?
I heard.
That used to be a assigned reading project.
Yeah,
I read it in elementary school or middle school,
and
I read it in high school.
Definitely, 100%. I read it in high school. 100%.
Banned.
Yeah, wild. I know that they were also.
If you haven't read 1984, do yourself a favor.
Oh,
give it a shot.
George Orwell did a great job with that. It's a great fucking story. The story revolving around the guy and the girl and the whole thing at that point, whatever. It's just its own. It's the whole fucking back world of that. Just that the whole tyranny and everything. You good?
I think I'm about to get raided by the FBI.
Let's go, man.
My phone was completely working. It's now off. We've been talking too much conspiracy. We hit something right or something.
Dude, let's run the if your everything just turned off right now, I wouldn't even panic. I would just laugh.
Just the last thing you see is just one fucking frame of me fucking dying.
I heard what was it? A New World or not? What is that book called? A New World? I think that's what it was called, right?
By Eckhart Tolle?
Yeah. I think that one is the next on the chopping block as well.
Yeah. That one's just fucking
Brave New World. That's what it was. Brave New World.
Oh, I was gonna say A New World. I guess I could see just because it's so antagonistic against every religion.
Yeah.
Because it's just like the entire book is just bridging religions and saying like, why do we have to fight?
Yeah.
Nah, you can't be that agreeable, man.
There's so many of the books that we read in schools that are like off. Like I know Catcher in the Rye is gone. I know Of Mice and Men is gone. I know Kill a Mockingbird is out.
That might have been gone when we were still in high school.
I mean, I read it in high school. That was part of one of my English classes. But I know that it had to have been gone right off the bat.
Middle school for me, but either like our senior year or like right after.
I was gonna say, yeah, it was pretty close by. It's wild because like if you read those old,
got soft.
Oh, thank you. It's not even just soft. It's like this is the world. It's just what we exist in, and not only that, it's fucking fiction. Now, whether fiction mimics reality very well or not, but it's still just fucking fiction.
If you get offended about fiction, just go to Twitter, X, follow the same people I follow and watch the videos that pop up. The world gets shattered.
Every child has
way worse than it used to be.
Every child is on social media. You know what I mean? Like there's no way that they can't see it. Which is wild to me because I think even in high school we had a copy of Mein Kampf in our library.
Yeah.
I remember reading Mein Kampf in high school. I remember reading like
they probably burned that book down.
Yeah. Marxism and a book on communism and shit like that. And a lot of it was just historical points of like
well, it should be
referencing literature.
I don't think there's anything. I don't think you should be like worshiping Mein Kampf.
No, absolutely not.
Taking that as fucking. But should it be studied and taken for example of things to watch out for? And
100%. Yeah, putting one and one together and seeing like where crazy exists in the world and how their mindsets are working and all that shit. Like the book I read on Marxism and communism was wild too because I remember reading it during. I think it was my economics class or something. I remember I had to do a report and I remember reading this whole like book on Marxism and everything, and it was a really interesting concept to the point where like still to this day when people are like we need communism, like there is a whole section of shit that like shows specifically how communism can work in theory. It will never work in practice though. No.
Karl Marx was kicked out of communist Russia.
Yeah.
He had to go to capitalist UK because it's the only place that would allow him. Capitalism was his last bastion of hope.
Yeah.
He created the father of fucking communism. He just was not allowed into communism.
Yeah, dude.
Like, nah, fuck you.
Yeah. No, it's wild. It's wild. A lot of it is just because of dictatorships and tyranny and blah, 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 blah. Fine. But it's such a wild concept that like we don't want the new generation. I don't know where the mindset is either. Like, is it don't teach the newest generation about this stuff, so therefore it doesn't
proliferate?
Yeah. Is that the idea? Do we just keep it out of schools and children's minds so therefore there's no reason for it to like
it all started
evolve?
with the word triggered. When people start getting triggered by shit, it's like, you know what triggers me? People saying the word triggered.
Yeah.
Okay? Shut up. Shut up.
I think outside
there are things that are going to irritate you, and the only way to get calluses is a little bit of irritation. You soft palmed motherfuckers.
I think a lot of in the end of the day, we've gotten really heavy into this, but like I mean, I think more or less it's that people worry about other things more than they worry about themselves. Like you need to just take care of yourself. That's the most important part. Like stop worrying about other people's shit, other things, what people are saying, doing, acting. Just focus on your stuff. And I understand it's kind of hard, like in our world and our stuff like that, to like kind of dull out the noise. I think a lot of people forget that you've got legs and feet. Just walk away. There's nothing wrong with it.
It's not that hard. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? If you don't get pissed off, don't look at Facebook. Don't just turn off your social media and see what you start giving a shit about. It's also, you know, it's also crazy. I've started doing this. So I have all of my specific settings for everything, all of my like cookies and caches and all that stuff that doesn't capture any of it. My algorithms are wild. They're wild. I never get stuff that feels targeted except for Instagram is like one of the most targeting things. I have all my stuff turned off. I don't follow anything. I don't follow people. I don't follow sites or anything like that. I'll go to my algorithm, but because I'm a male, my just like the search section is just tits ass, just weird stuff. I was having a conversation today about this. I was like, I don't search for things. I don't look things up. The algorithm is just targeted towards male audience in that way. But all the rest of my stuff, I turn all my phones off and everything. The news articles and stuff that I get are just the most wild, off the topic shit. Like, and this is without algorithms. It's like rare sea creature approaches scientist boats off California coast. I haven't looked up a single thing on sea creatures. You know what I mean? Like it's wild how when you don't like subscribe to having all of your cookies and things watched and all that. Oh my God. The algorithm doesn't know what to do. It's like, do you want a baking recipe? Like, no. Okay. Mine is nothing but somehow now Dungeons and Dragons like puns that I just send to like Aaron and Sean. I'm like, and war crimes being committed. Like just like terrible shit where you're like, oh, no way. I just saw that. Watched it 10 more times and sent it to Will. And like it used to be, God, man, for like 7 months, I had like the dopest algorithm. It was just nothing but like thick Latinas, and it'd be like watermelons between their thighs, or like there'd be like a cake, and they would just like twerk on a cake until the cake was nothing left. And like that was the shit, man. It was just like
perfect.
But then like somewhere in there, like somebody sent me something that fucked it up. of like somebody getting like shot in the face or something, and I was like, oh, that was fucked up. Let me send it to 8 other people I know, and just everything's gone.
That's a scary thing with YouTube. So there's a channel, I don't know if you've ever seen him. His name's Donut Operator.
Oh yeah. Oh,
love
me and Donut go way back.
Yeah, love that guy. I love watching his.
Is it a good shoot or is it a bad shoot?
Yeah.
I'm scanning a patient like eating fucking Cheetos. Like shoot him. Good shoot. So a nurse is just like, what the fuck are you watching?
I remember I watched a bunch of his videos or whatever, and for like a month, I was just getting some wild shit on my algorithm. It's like every time you click on it, it's like, this is over for people.
Do you see more people die?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I guess.
I kind of do.
Yeah.
And then every now and then you get one, you're like, oh, I feel worse about myself as a person.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if maybe it's us as our generation specifically is completely desensitized because we watched a dude get beheaded online. You know what I mean? When we were young, we saw a live beheading on like Live Leaks or whatever the fuck it was when it first came out.
Can't remember. Somebody, man, I watched this guy fucking get his entire head cut off like slowly with like a knife. And whoever was showing, it was like, I think it was Randall at Applebee's. And I was like, oh, why the fuck are you showing me this? He's like, if you can't handle the evil in the world, what are you going to do when it confronts you? And I was like, you're right. Like, you're right. Fucking if shit goes down, I need to be able to fucking handle it. And I sat there and watched just like the saddest thing, like the most terrible thing I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
It was, ever since then, it's just like,
Yeah, you just kind of, I mean, there are certain things that no matter how many times I watch them, or not even just go back to watch them, but remember watching them, that there is a traumatic point that I get triggered on. Glass ass is 100%, and it's starting to come back. I keep seeing memes. I saw this guy the other day where it's like, this guy's just he was like in pants and shorts. It's like, I've had a tough day. Sometimes there's only one thing that like can help me, and it just cuts.
He's getting over a jar.
Oh no! Instantly I'm like, oh my, like I just feel like, oh, cringy,
traumatized.
Oh, that one may have actually traumatized me. Out of all the stuff that we've ever seen in the world, I think Glass Ass may have been the one that fucking may have put me over the edge.
It was the blood chunks and the glass falling out. That was just like too real.
It was the panic in the fingers trying to dig.
Yeah.
Oh, happy Monday, everyone. I hope your week goes fucking well.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't talk about video games at all. But maybe next week.
When there's something to talk about.
We're going to play it right after this.
I did see that. So I have it ready to go.
We'll talk about it next week.
Good.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.